It's a crazy plan, ladies and gentlemen, but it just might work. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. How you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. Really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Of course, it's the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it. Blah, 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 blah. Mate, there's so much going on at the moment. It's blowing my fragile little mind, my fragile, vulnerable mind. Aubameyang to Chelsea to rekindle that close emotional relationship he had with Thomas Tuchel. He had his best ever goal-scoring season under Tommy Tukes at Dortmund. Could it happen? What's going on with Cucurella, Colwill, Fofana? So much to discuss, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourselves in. Thank you for dropping a like on the video. That's very kind of you. Let's see if we can get over 3,000. You could be the difference maker by simply clicking "You're welcome to subscribe," and should you choose to do so, hit the sweet, sweet bell, baby. Guys, the season's nearly here, and it's time to try and win a free jersey of your choice, as well as a copy of FIFA 23, simply by doing this match day 1 prediction. Takes no time at all on One Football. Here's my selection. I think there's a draw between the London clubs. Arsenal not to get the W. Lovely scenes. Liverpool to win. Chelsea to win. United to struggle against Brighton like they always do. And City to win. Strong predictions from me, you might say. It's your chance to win. Go check out One Football. It's all totally free. Click the link in the top of the description. And just do it now. Why not? It takes a second. Let's get into it. Thank you for checking out One Football. Mate, it's popping off. Should we start with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? Fabrizio Romano tweeting, Chelsea are now considering Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as a potential new striker. Discussions have already started on the player side. Still no bid to Barcelona. He's one of the names in Chelsea's list after meeting for Sesko and other targets. Chelsea are trying to get a striker, and they're looking seriously at Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, once Arsenal captain, of course. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about this. Aubameyang is 33 years old. He's another one of these players that went to Barcelona when they just don't know what they're doing. They sign Adama Traore, Aubameyang, Lewandowski, Rafinha, re-sign Ousmane Dembele. There's more. There's loads of players everywhere. I don't know what they're doing. Aubameyang will be surplus to requirements. He'll probably be on high wages as well. Matt Law at Matt Law DT Daily Telegraph saying it's right that there is some interest from Chelsea in Aubameyang, and he puts in brackets, it's the mystery forward that he alluded to on the London is Blue podcast, which is a great podcast from my American friends. He did say, look, there's a wild striker that I'm not allowed to report on yet. The fact how it's public domain now, he's reiterating, yes, this is true. It's Aubameyang. But no more than that at this stage. I understand Aubameyang would be interested in Chelsea too. Now, yes, Aubameyang's 33 years old. I think he's just turned 33 about a month ago. So he's not like, he's younger than Benzema and he's younger than Lewandowski, I think. He's not a long-term solution, but in a team where we look at over 30-year-olds in a different way now, and to reiterate, he and Thomas Tuchel had a good relationship. Obviously, Aubameyang fell out with Mikel Arteta and they clashed, and therefore it caused issues. But if Thomas Tuchel maintains that he's the Aubameyang whisperer, he can manipulate him into a super striker once again, boys and girls, then maybe, dude, maybe that's the answer. Look, it's not a long-term answer, of course. Of course it's not a long-term answer. But, man, maybe. So, for Arsenal, he scored 22 goals in 19-20 this season in the Premier League. In the season before, in the 18, he scored 22 goals again. Consecutive 22 goals Premier League finishes. And he got double digits in the last 2 campaigns. He got, under Thomas Tuchel, 31 league goals. Only 2 assists, so he's very much a finisher. He got 31 league goals playing for Dortmund in 31 appearances, and to make that more specified, 31 goals in 2,700 minutes. Really elite return. Obviously, that was 5 years ago. He's older now, but this is what Thomas Tuchel got out of him. He has always generally scored goals. Last season in La Liga, he scored 11 goals in 13 appearances. Mate, last season, he scored 11 goals in 1,000 minutes. He's got a better return than a goal every 100 minutes for Barcelona last season. And he scored 2 goals in the Champions League or the Europa League in 400 minutes. Mate, he's still got an elite return. He looks very... And if Thomas Tuchel can, look, it's going to be very much a case of Thomas Tuchel wants this. This is the summer, the year of the Thomas Tuchel wishes come true. So that would represent that. I think it could be good, man. I think it could be really good. I quickly want to jump over to the court offside briefing from Fabrizio Romano to reiterate some Chelsea news. Carney Chukwuemeka is currently in London with his agent and family, of course, the teenage sensation from Aston Villa. He will undergo his medical in order to be unveiled this week as a new Chelsea player. At time of recording, it's Thursday morning, so he could be unveiled today or tomorrow. The fee could total £20 million, and that's with add-ons, with a contract running till 2028. 6-year deal, which would make sense for an 18-year-old who's highly, touted as like a really special talent. Marc Cucurella. Of course, we reacted to the Here We Go yesterday. He doubles down here. Marc Cucurella to Chelsea, here we go. Full agreement between the two clubs for more than £50 million, about £52 million. Cucurella will sign a 6-year deal as well. Big old contract there. Of course, Brighton did that tweet yesterday that I pinned on my last upload saying, look, there's no agreement, and people are sort of coming for Fabrizio Romano on Twitter, and he's like, mate, it's done. He says he's like tweeting like, let's see who lied, because people, say that he lied or whatever. By all accounts, Marc is a Chelsea player, which is very, very exciting that he can interchange with Ben Chilwell and play left centre-back as well. Levi Colwill will join Brighton on a permanent deal, so that's probably the hold-up with Brighton. That's what the speculation is. They want to get Levi official before they let Marc be official, because perhaps they want Chelsea to pull a fast one with Levi Colwill after Cucurella's done. Probably just looking for some sort of security there. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there will be a buyback clause included. Now, people are speculating the fee will be 25 million for Colwill, which is pretty decent considering he's like a teenage championship loanee. And then the buyback might be £45 million, which if he becomes like an absolute baller at Brighton, playing, for 2 years as a starter, and then, gets to his early 20s, and we could buy him for 45, and he becomes becomes an England international, and then you can buy him for £45 million. I don't think many people will be complaining then. So yeah, that's pretty good. Chelsea have met with Benjamin Sesko's agent. They face competition from Manchester United and one other club. Of course, this is a forward that Chelsea have been looking at. Sesko is to make a decision in the coming days. We won't speak too much about that now. I'll have a little bit closer look at him, and we can discuss that accordingly as the stories develop. Chelsea are now considering a move for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as a potential new striker. Of course, we've been speaking about this. Discussions have taken place with the player, but no bid has been submitted as of yet. Chelsea's transfer season is intrinsically linked with Barcelona. Great meal, wonderful food, said Todd Boehly in that short meal. They must have really rekindled an early relationship. You would have assumed no love lost between Chelsea and Barcelona because of the Rafinha, because of the Jules Koundé. It does sound like Chelsea weren't that interested in Jules Koundé, and, Chelsea never had a chance to sign Lewandowski, so it's not like they snuck him from us. But apparently Chelsea's, future really remains intrinsically strongly linked with Barcelona because of Azpilicueta, because Marcus Alonso, because of potentially Frenkie de Jong, because of, Aubameyang. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. I'm going to quickly jump over to at Absolute Chelsea on Twitter to give you a little bit more news. Chelsea are considering striker Aubameyang. We've spoken about that. So Leicester City have rejected an offer of around 75 million euros. What's that? 60, just over 60 million pounds for Chelsea for Wesley Fofana. That's coming from L'Equipe, so French publication. You're in another country, mate. I know he's French, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. Okay, so on Levi Colwill. The buyback clause in Colwill's contract is proposed to be 45 to 50 million pounds. Now, that's totally fine. Even if it's 50 million pounds, I still, the point still stands in terms of if he's an England international, if he's a superstar and whatever. Look at the money that Leicester are quoting for Fofana at the moment. If Brighton, have a similar level player and we buy him back, if he develops into that player, it'll be very good. So Chelsea have submitted a £60 million bid for Wesley Fofana. There you go. Fofana, but this has been rejected. Leicester want £80 million, with Chelsea hoping for a £70 million agreement. Fofana is very keen on joining, and this is coming from Nathan Gissing, Dimarzio, and Chelsea CFC News account on Instagram. He breaks a lot of reliable news, I think. He's been, people respect his reports. So yeah, man, look. Fofana changing all his social media statuses, removing Leicester from all of them, posting cryptic social media stories, etc., pushing for the move. Very keen on joining Chelsea, of course. Pictures of him in a Chelsea shirt have been floating around the internet and stuff, and this, that, and the other. Leicester are interested in a couple of Chelsea players, including Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who, by the way, doesn't want to leave Chelsea. And I kind of like that, his drive to stay and fight. He got 40 appearances last season. By all accounts, Ruben Loftus-Cheek will be happy with something similar, a rotational utility role where he does actually play a decent amount of football. I think probably Thomas Tuchel would be happy with that as well. Play him in the midfield, play him at wing-back, play him as a sweeper in the back three. He seems to do a job if he has to in a lot of places, and coaches love that kind of player. So, could we put a player the other way? I'm not so sure just yet. Chelsea do have a lot of players they want to get off the books. But £70 million, if we get Fofana for £70 million, I think a lot of people would be, and it's a lot of money, but I think a lot of people would be happy with that, considering they said they wanted, 80 to 100. Now it's something they're saying 80. If we can get it down to 70, that's a pretty special, it's freaking expensive, what am I talking about? But that is, you're getting a special player for, a not too insane price, still £10 million cheaper than Harry Maguire, if you use that as a barometer. What Chelsea are probably expecting and hoping for here is the player himself, Wesley, maybe kicks up a little bit of fuss and sort of pushes, and maybe a transfer request, and the reports are suggesting that there's a gentleman's agreement. This is the kind of, between Harry Kane and Daniel Levy kind of thing, that if, when he signed this big new contract in March, I believe, that if a serious bid came in for him, that they'd consider it. Look, if a big, super club comes in, like a Champions League contender, you sell me, or you have to consider it. He would absolutely be saying, well, £70 million for me. This is exactly what we spoke about, though conflicting reports are suggesting that that gentleman's agreement comes into play next season or next summer, but then some reports are saying no, he thought it was this summer. So Chelsea will be confident they could probably do something. Obviously Cucurella is seemingly over the line, but they'll turn to Wesley Fofana next. In terms of sales, Chelsea want about £10 million for Azpilicueta. Which, I don't know if that's fanciful. I mean, the one thing that I keep speaking about, Tuchel keeps reiterating, is we just spent £34 million on a 31-year-old. He sort of sees Azpilicueta similar level, captain of Chelsea. He's got all this value. Why should we sell him for under £10 million? I don't want to get taken for a ride here. Whether he believes the current value of Azpilicueta is as much as Kalidou Koulibaly, I'd probably, object to that. But I know what he's saying. He's pretty much saying, look, man, don't take us for a ride, Barcelona. And then after that, man, Chelsea are going to have to get rid of Batshuayi, Barkley, probably Emerson as well as Alonso if Cucurella's coming in. And then, Werner wants to go to Leipzig. That's a story we're following very, very closely. So there's so much going on. Stories will develop quickly today, so there's a good chance I'll upload again. So make sure you keep it locked. You turn the bell on when you subscribe. Thank you for liking the video. Do comment all your thoughts down below. Check out OneFootball, simply clicking the link in the top of the description to get that free prize draw offer predictor. Peace!